Hello guys, how's it going? My name is Dal, and PTR testing for Dragonflight is back on the menu, as Season 4 has finally made it over to the public testing realms, featuring new additional dungeon changes which are now available for testing, which is going to adjust the difficulty of Heroic and Mythic 0 dungeons, but also awarding all players looking to tackle some of the more difficult 5-man content. With this, we also got seasonal dungeon tuning and changes that are now available for testing, as well as new tier set vendors with some of the returning appearances and certain class tier set bonuses, with plenty of brand new gear vendors, including catch-up vendors, as well as a ton of new cosmetic additions. But also, it seems that the release date for Season 4 might have actually got leaked, thanks to Blizzard's most recent blue post about Season 4 over on the PTR. In today's video, I wanted to go over some of the major features that are coming out with Season 4, some of which are available for testing right now and some of which hopefully will be available later, as well as go over this potential release date. But right before that, most of you guys watching these kind of videos are still not subscribed. However, the more of you remind, the more of you do, so let's keep it going. Subscribe to the channel and ring the bell if you're watching these videos anyway. Especially if you want to get more regular content regarding Dragonflight 10.2.5 or any future updates for patches like 10.2.6 or the War Within Alpha. One of the features of the Season 4 PTR that you can currently test right now is some of the class tier set changes. A few months ago, Blizzard held a community vote where players and community members of each class and spec get to pick their tier set bonuses for Season 4. This includes both being able to pick your appearance as well as the individual set and class bonuses, picking between all of the looks and enhancements found in the Vault of the Incarnates, Aberrus, and the Emergency Raid tiers, which allows for some unique combinations like looking like a Primalist from Vault of the Incarnates while being able to get a more engaging tier set from the Emergency Raid, which is the case for playstyles such as a Beast Mastery Hunter. For a handful of other class specs, they actually get to go back to the Aberrus tier set bonuses, which were far more competitive during those seasons for specific playstyles, including Shadow Priest, Bear Druids, and even Holy Paladins. Though a handful of class specs like Survival Hunters and Windwalker Monks, as well as Destro Warlocks, will be able to play with their Season 1 tier set bonuses, which offers far more freedom when it comes to talent and build variety, while providing a more generic enhancements when it comes to combat and gameplay. You can easily go and test those tier set bonuses on the PTR from a tier set vendor found in Orgrimmar and Stormwind and get an early glimpse of how some of these classes are going to play and perform within Season 4. Out of all the endgame features coming out in Season 4, dungeons have gotten some actual sizable changes that are now ready for testing on the PTR. This includes some of the more drastic seasonal changes for difficulties such as Heroic, Mythic 0, and Mythic Plus. The Mythic Plus system has been condensed numerically, which allows for Heroic and Mythic 0 to move up a bit, where Heroic dungeons are still going to be queuable from the LFG with random parties, but the difficulty of those dungeons is actually going to be slightly increased, together with an increased reward. Mythic 0 dungeons are now going to replace the Mythic Plus 10 dungeons, in both the difficulty as well as the type of rewards you can get from those dungeons. However, these Mythic 0 dungeons will still retain their Mythic 0 playstyle, as in they're not going to include a timer that's normally present in Mythic Plus or the affixes of Mythic Plus, giving Mythic 0 dungeons a new place when it comes to endgame progression, which allows for players that are genuinely interested in some of the more difficult dungeon content to tackle, as well as the gear upgrades that match that difficulty, though without the timing aspect and the pressure that comes from Mythic Plus specifically. And for Mythic Plus dungeons, difficulties of +2 through +10 are essentially eliminated. Instead, Mythic Plus dungeons will start out the +2 at a similar difficulty as a +12. So think of it more as a Mythic Plus number squish rather than a difficulty squish. So if you are trying to do a dungeon that is of +20 difficulty for Season 3, it'll now be named +10 in Season 4, though the difficulty curve will stay the same. And in fact, it'll actually be more difficult since we are now moving into a brand new season. Not that the dungeons in that season are actually going to be more difficult. In fact, a lot of the dungeons that are going to be available for Season 4, which are the 8 original Dragonflight dungeons, have had a lot of their mobs as well as their bosses restructured by quite a bit. Basically, a lot of the trash packs and some of the bosses have been heavily nerfed, which removes a lot of the unfun anti-melee and even anti-caster mechanics out of the run. They also reduced as much as they could the reliance on specific classes or class specs to help finish out those dungeons or make those dungeon runs easier with plenty of time to spare, which actually might make it one of the more enjoyable and in some cases easier seasons to get into if you're still trying to get your hands at a KSM or even a KSH achievements. One of the biggest features coming with Season 4 will be an addition of bad luck protection gear vendors, as well as a brand new currency. As to how specifically we unlock this currency right now is still an unknown to us, but if it works like anything that Shadowlands Season 4 did with its dinar tokens, then we'll likely be able to earn this currency through various PvE content, specifically within raids. And you'll be able to spend this currency to buy guaranteed gear upgrades from specific gear vendors. Currently, this includes gear vendors for some of the more unique and sought after items from all three raids of the expansion, from Vault of the Incarnates, Aberrus, as well as Emergicil, including some of the more powerful weapons and trinkets and even accessories that can be obtained from within those raids. And in a way, these vendors serve as a bad luck protection, as in if you're going to be raiding in Season 4 of Dragonflight and you still haven't got your hands on some of the more lucrative or even some of the more rare items that your class needs to be able to perform, you'll be able to use that currency to guarantee those items from those vendors, and then you'll be able to upgrade those items further up to the highest possible levels. But besides gear vendors for bad luck protection, it seems like they also added a new cosmetic vendor to this season, which is completely different compared to Shadowlands, as this new cosmetic vendor sells you weapon transmogs for a variety of weapons from 3 raids, but also a mount. For some of you, you might find this mount quite familiar, but for others, you may not even know that it existed in the game, and it's going to be Jiggleworth Senior, a mount that was added way back in Shadowlands during Season 4 as a reward for completing all 3 raids of Shadowlands on normal difficulty minimum. And it looks like this mount is possibly making a return, which means that there's probably going to be a shift in how we'll be able to earn this new currency coming with Season 4. Where back in Shadowlands, dinars were kind of limited, as you can only earn 3 dinars for the entire season. But it looks like this new currency you might be able to earn all throughout Season 4 to collect all of the cosmetics and even the new mount and all of the best in slot gear for all of the different playstyles, so you can have yourself quite a fulfilling season for Season 4. Some of you that obtained legendaries from previous seasons, like Evoker Legendary or maybe even the Fairlath Legendary from Emergicil, you will also be able to upgrade this legendary heading into Season 4, using an item that boosts that legendary's item level to a higher rank, but also gives it an upgrade bonus so you can continue upgrading this legendary so you can be your best in slot weapon all throughout Season 4. This means if you want to work towards this legendary right now in Season 3 in order to already have obtained it for Season 4, you could also do so. And it's definitely worth recommendation if you're looking to play your Paladin, Warrior, Death Knight, or even Evoker going forward. Another feature coming with this new season, which is not available for testing just yet, is Awakened Raids, which will allow you to re-experience the familiar raids of Dragonflight, but with additional challenges and with greater rewards, where players will be able to utilize all of the powerful weapons from any of the 3 raid tiers of this expansion, with hunters getting access to their rare bow from Vault. Fury warriors will be able to wield Ashkandi in their offhand next to the legendary, but you also will be able to get some of the more powerful and rarest trinkets from any of the raid tiers to fully customize your character in a variety of different ways. For now, it does seem that there's going to be a rotation of which raid is going to be awakened for any given week. But at some point, if it's similar like Shadowlands, all 3 raids could be enabled as a fated raid, so the players have a little bit more freedom in which kind of instance they want to run for that given week. In Season 4, players will also be able to gain a bunch of other cosmetic rewards, which are going to be either seasonal rewards added just for Season 4, but also some of the more returning rewards from previous raids and dungeons. First of all, for every single raid tier, you'll get another chance to obtain one of the new dragon mounts. Whether you're talking about the Razageth mount from Vault of the Incarnates, the Shadowflame Drake from Aberrus, or even the Farak lookalike mount from Emergicil. But there's also going to be an additional reward for defeating every single raid of Season 4, with a mount that also has access to dragon riding from the get-go. Mythic Plus dungeons will also have a brand new seasonal mount, but also their own set of titles. And there's also going to be a PvP specific rewards, like a brand new participation mount, as well as a new gladiator mount, as well as plenty of titles for players to earn. Combined together with the previously mentioned cosmetic vendor, altogether Season 4 looks like it's going to deliver quite a lot of ways for players to be able to expand on their cosmetic collections. And it looks like Blizzard might have actually leaked when the Season 4 could be arriving. Part of this blog post mentions that you'll be able to earn a variety of titles once Season 4 is upon us. Some of the mentioned titles are going to be endgame titles, such as Mythic Plus titles, PvP titles, raiding titles, as well as some of the prestige titles for the 0.1% of the player base. But they also mentioned a new dragon riding title coming out in Season 4 for Northrend Flying and the Northrend races, which you could be part of Season 4. And it turns out that as of right now, Northrend races are slated to come out around April 30th, which means that this update will likely be coming out on 30th or maybe a week before it. As for now, we don't actually have an official release date for Season 4, but I think based on the info given, we could probably guesstimate that it's actually going to be arriving a lot sooner than most people expected. But for now, that's going to be everything we got so far for the Season 4 over on the PTR. And hopefully over the next few weeks, we'll see additional changes, as I would like to see some of the upcoming class revamps that are planned for the War Within to start making their way into Dragonflight Season 4, if at all possible. But also, I wonder if they'll do any Awakened raid testing, as Shadowlands raids featured additional affixes which were present in raids, and I wonder if they're going to copy the same idea for Dragonflight Season 4 specifically. But otherwise, that's going to be everything we got so far regarding major news regarding Season 4 over on the PTR. As always, I want to thank all of you guys so much for watching this video, and I hope all of you enjoyed. Let me know all your thoughts in the comments down below. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed this video or found it informative, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. I would very much appreciate it. And as always, in the description of every single video and live stream, we have a link to our Discord community channel. Probably the best place to reach out to me directly in case you want to let me know what you thought about this video or hang out with the rest of the community to discuss some of the upcoming changes. Join our Discord to become part of the community. But otherwise, thank you all so much for watching this video. I do hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know all of your thoughts down below. And as always, I'll see all of you guys in another video.